Willa Drake and Sonia Bailey were selling candy bars door to door. This was for the Herbert Malone Elementary School Orchestra. If they sold enough, the orchestra would get to travel to the regional competitions in Harrisburg. Willa had never been to Harrisburg, but she liked the harsh, gritty sound of the name. Sonia had been, but had no memory of it because she was a baby at the time. Both of them swore they would absolutely die if they didn't get to go now. Willa played the clarinet. Sonia played the flute. They were 11 years old. They lived 2 blocks from each other in Lark City, Pennsylvania, which wasn't a city at all or even much of a town, and in fact didn't even have sidewalks, except on the one street where the stores were. In Willa's mind, sidewalks were huge. She planned never to live in a place without them after she was grown. Because of the lack of sidewalks, they weren't allowed to walk on the roads after dark. So they set out in the afternoon, Willa lugging a carton of candy bars and Sonia holding a manila envelope for the money they hoped to make. They started from Sonia's house, where they'd first had to finish their homework. Sonia's mother made them promise to head back as soon as the sun, pale as milk anyhow in mid-February, fell behind the scratchy trees on top of Burt Kane Ridge. Sonia's mother was kind of a worrier, much more so than Willa's mother. The plan was that they would begin far off on Harbor Road and end up back in their own neighborhood. Nobody in the orchestra lived on Harbor Road, and they were thinking they could make a killing if they got there before the others. This was Monday, the very first day of the candy drive. Most of the others would probably wait till the weekend. The top 3 sellers would win a 3-course dinner with Mr. Budd, their music teacher, in a downtown Harrisburg restaurant, all expenses paid. The houses on Harbor Road were newish. Ranch style, they were called. They were all on one level and made of brick. And the people who lived there were newish, too, most of them employed by the furniture factory that had opened over in Garrettville a couple of years ago. Willa and Sonia didn't know a one of them, and this was a good thing, because then they wouldn't feel so self-conscious pretending to be salesmen. Before they tried the first house, they stopped behind a big evergreen bush in order to get themselves ready. They had washed their hands and faces back at Sonia's house, and Sonia had combed her hair, which was the straight, dark, ribbony kind that a comb could slide right through. Willa's billow of yellow curls needed a brush instead of a comb, but Sonia didn't own a brush, and so Willa had just flattened her frizzes with her palms as best she could. She and Sonia wore almost matching wool jackets with fake fur-trimmed hoods and blue jeans with the cuffs turned up to show their plaid flannel linings. Sonia had sneakers on, but Willa was still in her school shoes, brown tie Oxfords, because she hadn't wanted to stop by home and get waylaid by her little sister, who would beg to tag along. "Hold the whole carton up when they open the door," Sonia told Willa. "Not just one candy bar. Ask, 'Would you like to buy some candy bars?' Plural." "I'm going to ask," Willa said. "I thought you were." "I'd feel silly asking." "What, you don't think I'd feel silly?" "But you're much better with grown-ups." "What will you be doing?" "I'll be in charge of the money," Sonia said, and she waved her envelope. Willa said, "Okay, but then you have to ask at the next house." "Fine," Sonia said. Of course it was fine, because the next house was bound to be easier. But Willa tightened her arms around the carton, and Sonia turned to lead the way up the flagstone walk.